You know, one thing about the Beastie Boys, Dave, they're always on vacation. Welcome to episode number 700, everybody. It's going to be the most epic 700th episode of any Geek Beat you've ever seen. I guarantee it.
Guarantee?
That's right. It's a money-back guarantee, Dave. I'll refund whatever you paid to watch the show if it sucks.
Nice.
Episode 700 of Geek Beat is brought to you by Audible.com. Okay, we've got a lot of big news for you guys today. It's hard to even know where to start. We've got big Samsung updates, big Microsoft news, a wireless shakeup, and most importantly of all, my first ever Kickstarter project. It funded at 150% after only 6 days. A couple of weeks ago, I was driving around with Callie, and it seemed like everywhere we went, there were just people parking like tools. You know, when people take up like 2 spots by parking in the middle, or when they just can't seem to stay inside their own space, and then they ruin the chance of anyone using the space beside them, or they park close to you, just you can't even get out of your own car, or they just make their own space. Anyway, I decided to do something about it, so I launched a Kickstarter to make up some little cards we can leave on those bad parkers' cars to let them know what we think. Head on over to geekbeat.tv/bad parking to join my Kickstarter. The greatest Kickstarter ever.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. In other news today, at the Unpacked conference, Samsung announced the new Galaxy Note 3, which will be available starting September 25th. Let's start with the specs for those of you who can't wait. 2.3 GHz quad-core CPU on LTE or 1.9 octa-core on Wi-Fi or 3G, 13 megapixel rear, 1.9 megapixel front camera, 4K video or 1080p 60, 3 gigs of RAM, 3200 mAh battery, and supposedly up to 40% longer life. The Galaxy Note 3's display is 5.7 inches, up from 5.5 on the Note 2, and is slightly lighter. They're also adding a pink color to the lineup. Perfect for you, Dave. And a grippier edge to hold on to the giant a little better.
Your mom.
The Note 3 also has an all-new S Pen, which includes a new feature called Air Command. You hover the pen over the screen and press a button to access some features. One thing I especially like is that the notes will sync automatically with Evernote. The other big announcement was the Galaxy Gear integrated watch/phone, which they're pushing as a companion device. The Gear has a Bluetooth connectivity to the phone to display SMS and phone calls. It's a 1.63 Super AMOLED 320 by 320 screen, and it's got an 800 MHz CPU, a gyroscope, and an accelerometer. They claim it has a 25-hour battery life, so you can wear it all day. Don't get me wrong, I think it's cool, but I don't normally wear watches, and I'm not sure this is going to make me want to start, even though Gear does let you talk to the hand, Dave. When a call comes in, just hold your hand up to your ear and talk through the speakerphone on your wrist. Who's going to do that? Anyway, a few other things. They put a camera on the outside of the band so you can point your wrist and take a photo. Like Wonder Woman reflecting bullets. Pew, pew! There are apps for the phone. You can be reading an email on the Gear, and when you pull out your phone from your pocket, it'll open to the exact email so you can keep reading. I like that. That's cool. And there's other cool things like that. 2 big questions I didn't get answered. Number 1, how much is it? Number 2, is it waterproof? Also, I'm skeptical about any woman wearing one because it's not exactly small. Anyway, it's going to work with the Galaxy S3, S4, Note 2, and Note 3. Are you going to get geared up? I'll let you know what I think when I get my hands on a review unit. Speaking of gears, I'm going to switch them up a little bit on you guys today. I know I'm always joking around and being silly, and generally that's the way I choose to live my life. But sometimes things just want to drag you down. Like our recent flood here in the Geek Beat studio. Several of you commented about how calm Callie and I seemed when we were showing you the video. But to be honest, it was more like depressed as opposed to calm. It's hard to stand there and see something that took years to build be destroyed in an afternoon. Some of you may have experienced something painful recently as well. Maybe a lost job or a friend. Maybe you went through a breakup. Whatever happened, it can be hard to deal with. So I've got a recommendation for an audiobook that I think might help. Head on over to audiblepodcast.com/GeekBeat and look for The Gift of Adversity: The Unexpected Benefits of Life's Difficulties, Setbacks, and Imperfections by Norman E. Rosenthal. You can even get it for free when you sign up for a new account using that link. Here's the thing. The first step is just to understand that it's okay for life not to be perfect all the time. There are tons of good things that come out of disasters, like the chance to start over. And when you have experience, you can always do it better the second time around. Dr. Rosenthal shares several things you can do to beat adversity, so give it a shot. audiblepodcast.com/GeekBeat. Look for The Gift of Adversity. We'll also have a link in the show notes at geekbeat.tv/700. Okay, if you're crying right now, here's something that will cheer you up. Monkeys! Getting a sugar high from whipped cream.
Good girl, you want some? Good girl. Good girl. Give Molly some.
And back to the tech news. In all fairness to Microsoft, this story is much bigger than the Samsung press release because Microsoft bought Nokia's entire phone division. All 32,000 employees were purchased for $5 billion. Yep, they were bought. And Nokia will also license their entire patent library to Microsoft for 10 years, by which time those patents will probably be all obsolete. I found this acquisition to be fascinating. Microsoft stock has floundered for the last year. Steve Ballmer is retiring. And now Microsoft is buying a company that's really good at producing mobile hardware. Could it be that Microsoft is looking across the mall at the Apple Store wondering how they could get some iMojo? Because it sounds to me like they want their own OS and hardware, just like Steve. Finally, to round out our big day of Fortune 500 news and one awesome Kickstarter project, Verizon has bought out 100% of Vodafone's position in Verizon Wireless. Verizon Wireless used to be a joint venture mashup between Bell Atlantic Mobile, GTE Wireless, and Vodafone until Verizon ponied up. Are you ready for this, Dave?
Yeah.
$130 billion
Shut the front door.
to bring wireless home. As part of the deal, Verizon is taking out $61 billion in loans from JP Morgan Chase, Barclays, Morgan Stanley, and Bank of America, because no one had that kind of cash to loan them. Another $60.2 billion in Verizon common stock will be handed out to Vodafone shareholders. Verizon is seriously betting the farm on wireless, folks, and with good reason. Verizon Wireless is raking in the profits by the truckload, while Verizon's old copper-based landline service stagnates. The wireless business is booming. I'd just like to take a moment to point out that a company with a guaranteed monopoly is using their money to leverage the future on mobile phones. What does that tell you about how you're being treated each month when you open your wireless bill, folks? Well, I'm going to wrap it up now. That was a long one today. Sorry, but there's a lot going on. You can keep chatting with me about it over on our IRC channel by going to geekbeat.tv/live anytime, or join our Geeks Plus community on Google Plus at geekbeat.tv/geeks. I'm out of here.